Yeah, for mushe eye na wotu ya etwemi ne na wotu esimi ya. Insema edi mutinti mapa eye yesi Kotoka International Airport. Jet mienu bi na flight mienu bi eba ye na Ntim Fordjour ese cocaine ene wo na government so say enye cocaine na mom omo ba se omo ebeye omo ba so mo ye omo no mabi na plane baako ana jet baako ameka flight baako essay na baako de eba. In fact in bebre na akoso bebre abe ho ha government na ade Ntim Fordjour essay on providing evidence up to now while running shows running different media stations so now on provide evidence bia na asema fellas ofoso kwache be kan no humum na ofani host ewom na ono so e dia making the case there is na say na ekoso nyina ache say oni any evidence bia na Samijemfi last week and yes me can say last week Saturday no okọ news fast no o ka say there na branch to say because asema oye no government no na ananse Ghana aban ana o put at risk because we security concern enkofo we be na church o madwen ewo saa enyo so na ene mo amohwe ade a eda screen so Justin Kodua Frimpong on general secretary ma MPP aban no ensema wa betwe egu ni stage ni page hse Ntim Fordjour Reverend Ntim Fordjour fellows of so kwache friend no osofu moko no omache no NIB before ache no utumu se yenya yenim de nti omache ni utumu se omache ni se o mebisa anaso o meyi nsembisa bi ano efa allegations o make anane ne allegations o make no onfa ono so no evidence embra nanka omo enyemu enhwehwemu. This case in Kofo Brinana na kasa say na de nti na government no moja ma akwa we no oye say because up to now we need evidence bia na em say opese osua okujeto abla kwa ono na opese osua no ana oye no ho sa na oni hwe dem say afei dem say Kofo Bre no ana several for now ne de em say case no ebeye okay kakra because enra John Jenapo ana minka yes John Abu Jenapo or just some Bujapo MPP ni no or no moma yes or so actually let the so the command say dean of a debe so more intervene. I was like now idea way so no has it even gotten to this stage as such as one person more young na say 3 months here be year or mum fane scandal bia wo ye mahama amamo so one person more young no mo fane scandal bi no mo kasa Ghana for yanka enkofo yanka eto mo person mo try na mo say eti we oma ni dem say nsembisa na omo ekwa ekobisa na evidence no na omo ekwa ekoje nanka omo so ayehwehwe mu na endra fellows of so kwacho eko City TV na asema okan ne say saa kwa we no se omo friend na omo chena omo nye no public interrogation na omo mbisa no pa omo mbisa no etimi so say eno na ebi ebe koso ntietiefo mo nkoso na endra so no fellows of so kwache ensema okekan no ono so de a very just say flight omo edru Ghana no in fact enemo na omo import omo tax na honom na omo import no omo twa VR omo twa tax omo ji wey certificate say nsem omo ji enyem omo ji ni na no filosofu kwa che making available o CCTV etifo o kan se bebre wo ho mede filosofu so kwa che video no so to aso mukoti a mubohu se no se sa Ntim Fordjour de tia na o se ye che no tia no say eche no eti for mu yenkotie video no na
very major one this issue of the air ambulance cargo. Your colleague MP for Asin South, when he first made the statement he made, what was your reaction like? Well, it appears that he's saying you misspoke. You said a number of things earlier and then you've now come to do a U-turn. For instance, you said the flight was from Luanda. The tracking that we have seen from Fact Check Ghana, for instance, suggests that no, at no point did the flight come through from Luanda. So there's a view that you miscalculated your communication and ended up in a faux pas.
It's important that we don't nitpick. You see, let us go back to the basics. Where did this thing start from? On 1st April, Ntim Fordjour held a press conference and specifically alleged that there were 2 aircraft that had come to Ghana that were transporting drugs and money illegally. He named them as Flight Kavok 12BK and NA3A, I believe, which transporting drugs and money illegally. He named them as Flight Kavok 12BK and NA3A, I believe, which futable proof that nothing untoward happened. Futable proof that nothing untoward happened on those two aircrafts. I suspect that what may have happened is that somebody at the airport may have called Ntim Fordjour, perhaps an MPP fanatic, called Ntim Fordjour and told him that there were some two aircraft, I beg your pardon, on the tarmac and that they were suspicious. And he also went to town. He didn't do any checks, nothing. So I did a 7-minute video in which I summarized the findings that had come up after the agencies had looked into the matter. Mind you, the airport is also a security area. And so there is a multiplicity of state agencies who operate and whose work come together to ensure the smooth running of the airport. National Security is present there. The National Intelligence Bureau is present there. Aviation security. In other words, the airport itself has a security arrangement. There is NACOC, whose primary duty it is to combat drug trafficking. They are there. And the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority is there. And the airport company itself is also there. All of these people had done their job as they should to ensure that there was nothing untoward about these aircrafts. And so, to the extent that he has failed to provide any evidence, he clearly is wasting everybody's time. President Obama has called for investigations into the matter. But Umaru, you and I know that if Ntim Fordjour had evidence, he won't wait for anybody to call on him to make it available. The National Intelligence Bureau made efforts to get him to cooperate with them in this investigation. He, through the minority leader, and indeed the minority leader will confirm this. The minority leader got back and said that Ntim Fordjour was speaking on behalf of a committee and therefore was not airing his own views and so could not come. Subsequent to that, the NIB wrote to the speaker last week Thursday to release Ntim Fordjour. The speaker is here to come back to the NIB on it, as far as I know. And anytime that the speaker responds to it, he will be available for questioning. I have requested that his interrogation or the questions that they pose to him should be recorded and released to the public. So that
his private interrogation.
It is not private. It's an investigation, is it not? So for purposes of public interest and transparency, they can show it.
Does that happen? Is that?
Oh yes, it's not the first. I recall that Rollins was interrogated once by the DMBNI and the footage was put out.
That was 100 years ago.
Yes, but clearly, if it serves the purpose, why not? The point I'm
Which
making,
means that you are very confident that...
Absolutely, because you see, Umaru, I've had opportunity to look at the evidence and the facts. Against...
He says that if you think you have buried the evidence, he's going to splash in your face.
First of all, he has no evidence. That's the truth of the matter. And I think everybody, you see, we need to separate party fanatics who will hail anything Ntim Fordjour says from reasonably minded people. You are a level-headed person. And there are reasonable people out there. When somebody comes to make an allegation and does not back it with facts, do you continue to entertain him?
What if he says he's holding back? He says he's holding back and at the right time...
First of all, he's holding nothing. That is the position that we need to address. He is holding nothing. Based on the evidence that is available on record, the activities of these planes are documented. You see, you can't just fly a plane into a country and carry out any activity and leave. It doesn't happen in any serious country. And Ghana is a serious country. The Airport Company Limited has existed for decades. They have proper procedures that every aircraft follows. These two aircraft were subject to every security check that must be done. Nothing untoward was found. Umaru, in my video, and I urge you to play it to viewers so that they hear exactly what I said. I noticed that after Ntim Fordjour was roundly ridiculed on Saturday, after he failed to adduce any proper evidence and produce that incoherent rambling on Newsfile, he's produced a subsequent 24-minute video, which
on Good Evening Ghana,
again fails to show any evidence that the aircraft indeed carried drugs or was laundering money. He says that there were inconsistencies in my account. First of all, so I'm coming to address the inconsistencies. First of all, he says that
he went to Twitter this morning and he says the mighty minority has been vindicated at last in the suspicious Gran Canaria flights to Ghana. Government spokesperson and Minister of State Felix Kwachiofoso must resign for willfully publishing false evidence to cover crimes. And he's quoting factcheckghana.com, which has made a number of observations and findings, which findings found your statement inconsistent, and I'm going to read the part that is relevant to you. They say that you claimed that Ahmed N823 AM went through Luanda in Angola before arriving in Accra. That is not accurate. That did not happen. And you also said that Ahmed N864 AM, which allegedly was sent to aid in repairs, only came to Ghana once, when it was actually twice that it came to Ghana.
There's no way in my 7-minute video that I said the aircraft that brought the parts and the crew, repair crew, came to Ghana once. Where in that 7-minute video did I say it? And indeed, you can play it to your viewers. And I request that as part of airing this program, you play it so that Ntim Fordjour shows me why I said that the aircraft came to Ghana once. I never said so. I said when the Ahmed aircraft developed a problem with its tire and landing gear upon landing. I've heard some people say that I've said the aircraft developed a fault in mid-air. That is very ignorant, you understand me? It is mischievous, completely tangential. The aircraft landed safely, and then noticed that there was a problem with this tire. I have put out pictures, and those pictures are absolutely 100% authentic.
The question is, how come you had pictures of
but first of all,
repair works?
But these days, people
say that actually makes it more suspicious.
How is it suspicious?
Like, why do you have pictures of that?
You are here recording me officially. I've seen your crew whip up their phones and take pictures of me. People do it all the time. In what way does it raise suspicion if people are fixing a tire? It is a matter of record. Indeed, there is evidence of this being done. And when the investigation is conducted and Ntim Fordjour is holding, the airport company can produce evidence of this. I have put it out. The second point I need to stress is that nowhere did I see that when the second aircraft came, it left on 25th. I said the Air Med ambulance developed a fault with this tire. A second aircraft belonging to the same company brought tires and repair crew. And once the aircraft was fixed, it left on 25th. Which aircraft was fixed? Was it not the initial one that came? And so if it is fixed, won't it leave? Ntim Fordjour says that because I have said it, I have said that the second aircraft stayed until 25th. And so I have lied. In any event, how does that even prove that there was drugs on the plane? Which is the substance of the matter. Secondly, he says that, in fact, even the first Havoc flight, 12 BK, never came to Ghana because he has gone to check on flight where, has he not said so? Now, you recall that it was Ntim Fordjour who, on the 1st of April, first told Ghanaians that Havoc flight 12 BK had arrived in Ghana. Play that press conference. So he told everybody that the flight arrived in Ghana. Yet he says that a few days later, when he went to check on flight aware, the flight never came to Ghana. So the flight never came. Umaru, let me show you concrete evidence. You see, before any flight comes to Ghana, it seeks permission to land. When the flight gets to Ghana, it undergoes rigorous inspection. I have said that this flight was in Ghana for screening at the Swissport cargo facility
in Accra.
Umaru, I can show you the report generated after Swissport did the screening. RA3. In fact, this was based on a request that Havoc made through their local agent, Tropicana Ghana. They state clearly in their letter.
You are referencing the flight from
the Havoc flight.
Okay.
Tropicana Airlines, which is their local agent, on 11th March 2025, wrote
okay. I was just saying
the Ghana Revenue Authority, Customs Division, requested that they wanted to use the Swissport next scan machine to generate the reports on the oil equipment of chartered flights from Angola to Norway and then they state the flight number.
This is dated when?
11th March 2025. And you see that is minuted onto the appropriate officials, duly signed and dated. This has become very necessary because the Angola scan machine cannot generate the outright reports, which is mandatory. I said this, and people say it's not true, and that there's a scan in Angola, so it is not true that they came to do the scan. Meanwhile, Swissport has done the thing, generated the receipt, generated the reports. Again, this flight was carrying oil equipment belonging to Schlumberger.
So two flights. So
yes, 2 flights.
This one for the Ukrainian one.
If you let me land, yes. The oil equipment belonged to Schlumberger. It was an oil drill equipment. Together, with oil in jerrycans, which are lubricants actually. There is an airway bill that covers this shipment. And clearly it is stated in the report, the destination and the equipment. When the aircraft got here and broke down, they had a problem with their engine blade. They also had oil leakage. They imported replacement parts, an oil cooler from Slovakia, which they brought in. They paid taxes to GRE in order that they are able to clear it.
How much tax?
I think it's around 13,000 or so. It's in there. Yeah, 13,564 Ghana
So the
cedis.
Ghana Revenue Authority.
So your revenue authority has collected taxes on equipment imported to replace broken down equipment. Then you are saying that the aircraft never came.
This for the cargo flight.
This for the cargo flight. Okay. And then if you let me land. So they did this. Tomorrow, while that flight was here, they had to refuel. The receipt of the fuel that they bought is contained here. And yet, until Fordjour says he has gone to flight where, and he says the flight never came. So when they bought the fuel, which flight did they put it in?
So we're discussing two flights. I want us to get
separate.
So
exactly.
One is a cargo flight, the Ukrainian one. So he brought drilling machine equipment.
But you see, the reason why that is important is that Ntim Fordjour says that this aircraft was here to traffic drugs and launder money.
Yes.
I put out footage of the inspection of the cargo. Of course, it is the case that when they are doing these inspections, they don't normally film them. But these days, as I have told you, people whip up phones and film things. Now it has become fortuitous because it allows us to see that indeed there were inspections. In fact, there were two inspections. The one I showed you in the video and the one they did when the flight came in. Indeed, beyond that, they even tested the oil. And there's evidence of it. There's a Ghana Standards Authority report here showing that this was oil and that there was nothing contraband about it.
So they discharged everything they came to discharge here.
The plane could not move. For 13 days it was grounded because it was having oil leakage and an engine blade fault. So they brought in a replacement aircraft to ferry the items because Schlumberger needed the items in Norway.
So that is the cargo.
Absolutely.
Then the air med.
The air med too.
So let me just clarify. And again, let me say that your video, we played it variously on our platform, and it is up there on our social media platform for anyone who wants to see it. Or you reference that we should play.
Yes.
We may not be able to play it on this program. Yes. But people
No,
can
just
see
so
it.
that
But people can see it on our social media platform.
He has intentional again. They took the video and then he placed his own claims on the video and sought to answer them. For instance, this bit about the flight having never come to Ghana is his claim. Forget about the fact that he himself was the very first person to tell the whole world that this flight came to Ghana. Now he says that when he went to check on the flight, where the flight never came. Meanwhile, the flight came. It is, you see, the place again regarding the fact that the place where you go for information on the presence of an aircraft is the airport where it landed. If you go into a flight software system and you don't see, it doesn't mean the plane was never here. So have they taken the time to ask the relevant authorities, GCA, Ghana Airport Company, whether the flight was there? That there is physical evidence of the flight. In fact, I can also show you evidence of an application by the local agents of this aircraft to the Ghana Airport Company to allow them to tow the aircraft to the spaceport facility in order that it will be refurbished. So how does anybody say that this flight never came to Ghana?
So that flight came here.
Yes. It came on the 12th.
So it brought items for is it mining or drilling company?
It's an oil drilling company. It's an oil company.
Yes. It stayed for 13 days, had a blade problem, and it's been fixed.
Ntim Fordjour says the aircraft is still in Ghana, which is not true.
Now, when it comes to the airmen,
yes,
that one, what's the story about how it came to our country?
There is an aircraft belonging to an organization that runs an air ambulance. Ntim Fordjour says because it came here and there was no patient or dead body in it. There was something suspicious about it. So because it's an air ambulance, anytime it flies, there must be a dead body or there must be a patient in it. And if there's no such thing, it means that it is carrying drugs. You see, the logic is bizarre.
Why did it come to Ghana?
It came from refueling. Because
from where?
It came from Gran Canaria. In fact, I will show you the permission granted it to land by the GCA. It is stated right here. They were doing a multi-country flight. Their final destination would have been South Africa through Rwanda. But when they got to Ghana for refueling and crew rest, once they landed, Upon inspection, they noticed that there was a problem with the attire. And the picture again, the picture I put out is 100% accurate. There are people saying that even the sky does not look like Ghana. There are even people are even saying that that air-med ambulance does not look the same as the couple. So so there's a lot of falsehood and ignorance and deliberate distortion, all intended to mask the fact that Ntim Fordjour has not been able to provide a shred of evidence. He says that the boat will not have brought replacement tires.
No, so the story you haven't. So it landed for refueling. They observed an issue with the tire.
Exactly.
And now, it took them how many days to get?
Now again. So they arrived on 20th March. When they noticed the fault, by 22nd March, a second aircraft had come in from Luanda with tires and a repair crew.
So it's a second aircraft that came from Luanda.
That came from Luanda.
Because fact check says there was no proof that the aircraft came from
Luanda. Again, that is nitpicking. I said in the video that it came from San Maria through Luanda. And then it got to Ghana for crew because it was something never went through. But I'm saying that what is the material relevance of that to the claim that Ntim Fordjour is missing?
So they are punching holes in
the
fact that
first of all, what hole are you punching? Somebody says that there were drags on the aircraft. He has not been able to show you any evidence. And you are saying that there is a hole in the fact that the aircraft passed through a certain place, and so because of that, there was drags or there were drags.
No, that becomes suspicious.
The story is first of all, how does the presence of an air ambulance generate suspicion? What is the basis for the suspicion? Is it the first time that an air ambulance has come to Ghana? They even say that there was power outage at the airport. In your journalistic life, is it the first time you've heard of a power outage at the airport?
So many times.
Will it be the last time in our history that happens?
This was very convenient.
How is it convenient? So anytime there was a power outage, anytime there was a power outage under the Akufo-Addo administration at the airport, were they laundering money and carrying drugs? Where is the logic in this? How can we allow such a story to dominate the headlines for this was simply because of this illogical, inconsistent rambling by somebody who is not providing the shred, so that even when hard evidence is presented, he says, he says that even the tires that were brought could not have been brought because there is no cargo compartment on the plane, which begs the question, so that the crew that operates on that aircraft, they are likely and these are tires and what do you call it? Boxes containing some accessories, I believe, and 2 boxes that can fit into a saloon. How much more a plane? So how does this become the reason why anybody says that there are drugs on the plane and that there was money laundering? So you see what and indeed I want Dr. Akoto I take the criticism about our own approach. Of course, we live to learn every day. And I think that is feedback that we can use. But I think he makes the most telling analysis of Ntim Fordjour's behavior, which I think you in the media should be making. You see, people cannot get up and say what they want. When they are pressed for information and they go scouting and say that somebody has said this, it doesn't add up to what I'm saying is true. When he himself has failed,
he says he should resign.
For what reason? He who has abused parliamentary privilege. And I'm putting it on record that if he says there were drugs on the plane and there was money laundering, he is spreading falsehood in the face of irrefutable documentary evidence that is not true. So because the aircraft has been checked. What inspection has he conducted?
He said the evidence will be. So you're saying that there's no way we are going to find drugs or money laundering?
Absolutely none, because those who are supposed to do this.
You put your ministry on.
I've said so. Look, has he conducted any inspection on the aircraft? On what basis is they saying there was drugs? How did he come to the determination there were drugs? Who did the inspection to detect drugs?
Now,
Omar, I'm asking you in Ghana. When the plane lands, who does the inspection?
So many agencies.
And I've shown you proof that the agencies have done the inspection, right? They have told that they didn't find anything on top. Where is Ntim Fordjour's inspection report, which shows that there were drugs?
He's connecting it to the other drug raid that you made or the government made. Somewhere on the
again,
and he said because you have not brought any evidence since then, it shows that there's
it is a clearest indication yet
big challenge
that again he is peddling falsehood. You see, so this government has made 3 drug busts in the last 3 months. So because of that, if there are planes that have come to Ghana, I beg your pardon. If there are planes that have come to Ghana between 12th to 25th of March, then they were carrying drugs because 3 unrelated drug busts have been made. Umar, I will give you a document that shows about 10 to 11 drug busts under the MPP. It's Ntim Fordjour suggesting that because that happened, he and his colleagues in the MPP were peddling drugs and laundering money. You see, It is astonishing in its defiance of logic. The kinds of things that Ntim Fordjour is saying.
You see what he has done?
You see, no, listen, what he has done is that he is demonstrating a certain desperation on the part of the NPP to monger scandal. And Akroma find something to use as a scandal on the Mahama administration because there's none that has happened. So the government of the day maintains vigilance and ensures that people who are dealing in drugs are arrested. An investigation processes started with the ultimate objective of prosecuting them if evidence indeed is found that they are responsible for drug trafficking. Because a government does this, we have become a cocaine coast. And because of this also, if drugs are seized in Amasama and 2 planes land in Ghana, they break down and are repaired, it means that they have trafficked drugs. Umaru, you are a very reasonable person. You tell me how these two are connected and what evidence there even exists to strike a nexus between these two stories.
It's a matter of time.
What time? Umaru, I'm telling you that, look, for about 1 to 2 weeks, he's run from radio station to radio station, TV station. He was on your TV show last week. You believe that if he had any concrete evidence, he wouldn't have put it out by now. What is the evidence that he showed on what you show? 24 minutes to say that I have said the plane came and he didn't come. And then he attributes things to me that I have not said. That is all that he was able to do for 24 minutes when the whole world was watching. I have shown you documents. Okay, I have given you pictures. I have given you videos. What has he brought to the table?
Let me take a break. This is Face to Face on Channel 1. My guest is Minister of State in charge of Government Communication, Honorable Phyllis Kwacha.